Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Lost Legion. I am your host, JR. Today we got our co-hosts, Jose and Daniel. How's it going, guys?
All
right.
So this last weekend was Adepticon, and we got a lot of stuff to cover and a lot of awesome news to share with you guys. So let's first start off with Shatterpoint. Did you guys get a chance to watch the demo?
Yeah. It looks pretty cool.
I was watching the Adepticon matches. That was more interesting to me. Yeah.
Well, I definitely watched the demos and everything, and it looks like a lot of fun. Some of the things I'm still don't know about because it's a demo. Is like I guess scoring is whenever you go with that activation, you score, and then from the skill tree. Now that we have everything that like how it works, there's a lot of movement in there. So my thing is like, can you move to one point, get that point, then move to another point, get that point? You know what I mean?
I think you score at the end. So at the end of your turn, so if you move, that's why there's like a lot of the attacks will push people. So you'll try to push them off the point so you can score it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I don't think a single unit will be able to score unless I don't know how the range looks. Maybe there's a way that you could squeeze where they're touching both. And then obviously like the multi-model people can score both.
But speaking about the unit squads, can they both make an attack? They didn't really confirm that because
I didn't see in the demo. I would assume they can though, because they can both do a move. It said they both have to do the same action.
Okay, so that's
both squads have to do the same action.
Yeah.
So if I move with one, I have to move the other.
Yep.
You don't have to.
You don't have to move him, but then that's his first action. His first action's burned.
Yeah. And that's then crazy. He didn't make an attack with the multi-unit. Well, he did with B1s, but then the other B1 was just he didn't say anything about it.
I don't think he even went with the B1s. It was because Kalani let the B1s shoot or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So somebody on the Discord was asking if they were gonna do like a tag team rules, like two players, like just like one squad per player. And they're saying that home rules you probably could, but they don't see anything like that happening. But it makes sense because if me and Daniel are playing like you and Edward, if I move, that means Daniel either burns his action or he has to move. So you can't play like that.
Well, you could play like that because what I like about that is, or what I like about the game is, it's all random. Whatever you drop the card, so you might get Jose's card, or you might get Daniel's card, and that person has to go. So you can. You're still playing the same fundamental game. It's just you're breaking up the squads into this is Daniel, this is Jose's, blah blah blah.
I like how it's on a 3x3 because the bigger models are gonna make it faster.
Yeah, and I'm super hyped about this game. Just watching the demo and everything looks like a lot of fun. I have to disagree with them though. It seems like it's pretty easy to kill a unit though.
I was a little concerned about that though. I wonder if it's going to be like it was a little unclear to me, but I was wondering if it was going to be a little bit like MCP, where you can't hurt them again until they go. So it'll take at least, like those clone troopers in the demo, they got wounded, right? Because they hit their threshold for resistance or whatever. Yeah. But then he said something about like it'll flip. And I know they do that in MCP where like the card flips, but it's in between turns. So we'd have to, maybe it doesn't flip until their turn. And so then they get like at least one more turn. I don't know. It wasn't super clear to me.
Yeah. Because I did know that like they said that you still, if they do meet their wound threshold or their injured threshold, whichever one it is, you still get to go with them before they get removed from the board, which I liked. But yeah, that'd be interesting because like that Kalani move with the B1s.
That was a lot of damage.
Decimated that 501st squad.
I don't really like how you can attack either member of a unit and they just have the shared health pool. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I'll probably have to play it and see it for myself, but just my knee jerk is like, oh, I don't really like that.
It's like you're gonna the one that sticks out is the one that's gonna get punished, and then you just killed two guys.
All of a sudden, my guy on the other side of the map is like, oh, I died.
He's like sympathy pains.
My takeaway from it, like I said, I was watching the Yavin based streams more than well. I was interested more in the main tournament and also the FFG news that we'll talk about later.
AMG?
The way I look at the releases. what I'm thinking about Shatterpoint is I'm gonna get the starter box
Mhm.
regardless. I've already made it. That's my birthday gift, so that's what I'm doing.
Mhm.
But the models look so freaking amazing that even if I don't play it, I might just buy the models just to paint them and have them because they look very statuesque.
Yeah, yeah, they
Yeah.
do. And the poses are pretty gnarly. And like big relief to me was everybody was, everybody had in their mind that this is gonna be a Legion killer. But like after seeing the demo, it's like, oh, okay, it's not definitely not gonna kill Legion in my opinion.
Jay from Fifth Trooper said he thinks it's going to be an MCP issue because MCP people are going to go to the Star Wars side of it.
Well, I
I
guess
don't necessarily agree because there's hardcore like comic fans that love MCP that I don't see would jump ship to go to Star
I
Wars.
think I think some of the thing that they're not thinking about, because yeah, I heard Jay say that as well, but watching the demo and just knowing like who we play games with and stuff, a lot of people for Legion, it's like the first miniature war game that they pick up. And they picked it up not because they're super into miniature war games, but because they really like Star Wars. So I feel like a lot of those people will shift to Shatterpoint because there's more characters, it's easier to paint. Like if I started over right now, because I'm one of those people that came in and this was my first miniature game, I guess except for X-Wing, but that doesn't really, it's different.
Hey.
But coming in, like if I had to pick today and I had never played Legion, I had to pick between Legion and Shatterpoint, I would probably pick Shatterpoint because I'd be like, oh, it looks easier. I like characters. That seems fun. Having played Legion, I think I like the way Legion plays, and like I enjoy that, and I enjoy the hobby of making squads and having them look different, and I think that's all cool. But as a new player, I think I would probably have picked Shatterpoint. And so I think we might see like a decrease in growth in Legion because those kind of people, the people who mostly like Star Wars and a little bit like war games, will probably shift that way.
Yeah, and like I can always see this like Legion's such a long game to play, and Shatterpoint seems to be a lot simple.
It's only a
Yeah.
long game because the banter on a friendly game or the learning of new units, seasoned Legion players should be able to do it relatively fast.
But even
Yeah.
burning through a game, that's still 2 hours.
Mhm.
I would say that's a pretty like, you're on track playing a good game. That's 2 hours. That's a long time, especially like if you include like setup and teardown. Like you're
Yeah,
lucky to get out of there in
yeah.
2.5 hours.
I think that's like the most discouraging thing is set up and tear down.
Yeah.
Which honestly, for me, like whenever I go play, it's gonna be like, all right, let me get my Legion game in with Daniel, and then after my game with Daniel, like, anyone do Shatterpoint? Like that's just an easy transition for me
Yeah.
to do instead of just doing 2 Legion games in one night. Which
I know
at
for
the
like,
Can't
same,
wait for Roman to throw a Shatterpoint tournament.
yeah, that'll be fun.
that
It's
would be
nice that
fun.
it won't require as much space and stuff. Like that'll be cool.
Was I tripping or did I catch that there's an Ewok Shatterpoint squad?
They talked about it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Let me get into that. Let me
Ewoks.
get into that. So they announced on Sunday a lot of stuff for Shatterpoint. So let me just go over them, and if you guys haven't seen, we could talk about it. So the first thing they showed was Mother Talzin, Savager Press, and the Night Sisters, which
That's a set that I'm interested in. I
yeah,
love
That's
Savage Press. I think he's so cool.
he is cool.
Except for his name. His name sucks. But everything else about him is so cool.
You hit the nail on the head. That's so true. What I like and what I'm hoping is that I'm assuming Savage Press is a secondary unit, so that way I can run
Yeah, probably.
Law and Savage. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'm excited for that. And of course, Mace Windu and his clone boys. I don't know their names and his unit number.
They're supposed to. So there's an error on the box art. Somebody pointed out that it's regular clone troopers you see on his box art. What the correction is he's gonna have ARC troopers.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, it
because
was
I
in the
noticed
Discord.
his guys had the same pose as like someone
yeah.
else. Was it the
Yeah.
soldiers with Plo Koon?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a placeholder because he's gonna come with ARC troopers, which is
That's awesome.
sick.
That is awesome. I guess his secondary unit is the commander that he rocks with, and I guess it kind of looks like an ARC because ARC troopers have that kind of skirt, right?
Yeah, some of them do.
Yeah. Some
Yeah,
of them
because that commander has a skirt, so that kind of
do.
makes
Or
sense.
that's like the phase 2 armor. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
It's some do, some don't. It's kind of yeah.
that's
Like Rex has a skirt for a while too. Like and he's not an ARC trooper, but
oh yeah, I guess you're right.
It's
Yeah.
just phase 2
I
armor.
don't know. I
that
think it's
comes
just
with it, I
people
think.
do some don't.
Yeah, super hyped. I mean, we kind of figured we're gonna get Mace Windu because of the book Shatterpoint, so that's awesome. Let's see what else they got. They also announced Cad Bane and his posse, which is
That's gonna be
awesome.
cool.
Aura Singh, and I don't
Now
know
I
the
love
others.
Cad Bane, but I kind of would have preferred if they had almost done a whole new set of bounty hunters that we haven't seen in Legion, just because
Mhm.
I like bounty hunters a lot. But I mean, I love Cad Bane, so I'm not gonna complain.
Well, who could you do?
I would have liked to see those like
Gengar.
pseudo good guy ones, the ones with the hat. What's his name? The one from Clone Wars.
Oh, 'cause it looks like like
Yeah,
a straw hat, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think he
Dig
would
it.
have been cool. If
Yeah.
they had done more like a good guy bounty hunters, those ones that worked with the Republic.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
They could
I,
do something like that if they, because one thing I didn't see a lot of was like Mando stuff.
Mhm.
So you could do like a Grief Karga and do like generic bounty hunters like with
Well,
yeah.
him.
I also think the reason why they didn't do Mando stuff is because you're getting
A bunch of
the
Mandos out the
yeah
gate.
yeah and
Well, they
Jango
showed.
Fett.
Well, I don't mean Mando's something. I mean the show wise, because I know that
Oh,
I saw they had Mando and baby Grogu. So I'm saying like they could do Grief Karga and have like a secondary unit be like semi-known bounty hunters like IG-11 and stuff like that, or
what
you
Yeah.
I'm
know
loving,
other things.
what I am loving about Shatterpoint is I could swap out any of these boxes with anything at any point and just be like, I'm just gonna run these just to have fun with it. Like, let's play
Yeah.
it.
No, I love the almost the pre-made where it's like, oh yeah, I bought this. If you buy any two boxes, that's a full army. Like you
Yeah,
don't even have to think about it.
yeah.
If someone wants to play, oh, grab two. And if you really want to mix and match, you can let people do it. But mostly you'll just be like, oh, you want Plo Koon and his guys, and that's what you got.
Which the next thing that they also announced Plo Koon, and it looks like this is where you're gonna get Padawan Ahsoka if you didn't get it on release or on the pre-order.
Are we
Which
getting the pre-order bonus through
Yes,
Legends?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
yep.
I think he's getting a total of 8, if I'm not
And he has
mistaken.
he has X number, and it's everybody who pre-ordered. It's first come first serve. So if you got in after the 8, you may not get one. But I think
Hmm.
it's a different scope than what comes in that box.
No, I think it's gonna be the same.
Yeah, I think they said it's not an exclusive. It was just an
Yeah,
No,
early release.
yeah. Which
because
I'm kind of
I know all the Shatterpoint stuff that they showed is not coming out this year.
yeah.
On some of the casts and on Discord, we did get hit with a lot of Shatterpoint releases, but some most of that stuff is for next year.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of like indifferent about getting a Ahsoka with Plo Koon. If I do get Plo Koon, is because like, well, now I got a model that I hope doesn't hike up the price. I don't think it's going to.
Yeah.
And then I guess I could sell it, but everybody might get it. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, and
I do
then
like though if you look at like his set, it's an extra model because he has a secondary and he has the support. So technically it's nice. So
yeah,
even if you already have a Ahsoka, you're still getting a full new squad.
yeah, which is super nice. And then this one shocked me: the Naboo ladies with the Naboo Queen.
Okay, so here's my thing. I'm full rant mode. Okay, somebody made a point because somebody on Facebook asked, with all the news coming out, Star Wars related, we still don't have Qui-Gon Jinn. I'm a giant Qui-Gon fan. So and then everybody like brought their freaking pitchforks, like he was never in the Clone Wars. He was dead before then. Some guy fired off like, bro, Maul was dead before the Clone Wars even started, but we got Darth Maul. So somebody had pointed out like they got Queen Amidala. Like, why is she here? If she's here, then you should have Qui-Gon. They were alive at the same time. That's her episode 1 outfit. She didn't wear that outfit after episode 1. So
Yeah.
you're telling me that you're gonna give? I'm still gonna. That's a box I'm gonna buy because I think Queen Amidala like looks legit. But you're gonna release that and not give me Qui-Gon Jinn.
Well, here's the
It's
reason why.
criminal.
I'm gonna
It's
tell you the reason why.
criminal.
I'm gonna tell you
It's
the reason why.
criminal.
So because Qui-Gon sucks. I'm sorry, bro. I had to tell you. No, honestly, the reason was is because I watched the panel. Is I don't know her name, but she's like the direct, not the director, but she kind of like does the. I'm not sure what her job is, but when they were talking about all the Shatterpoint, she had come up to the booth and said that she had told the guy who's making Shatterpoint, like, if we're gonna do this, you need to do these guys. And he's like, okay. And he's just like, I was probably gonna do it eventually, but this is why this is here now. It's because she really wanted this. And
It's still criminal.
Cool.
You
I
could have
mean,
did.
we're going to get them.
You could have did Clone Episode 2 Attack of the Clones, Padme.
we're still gonna get Qui-Gon, like
Nah, he should have been launched. He should have been launched. This is a
well,
perfect time to do a launch Qui-Gon with Gungans, and then you could have did old Ben Kenobi with like R2-3PO and Luke, like, and make it like some kind of generic flow. Because you can't tell me you can't do that because they got Ghost Squad or Ghost Squadron, whatever they're called,
the Ghost
Sabine
Crew.
and all them, Ghost
Mhm.
Crew. So you could do old man Kenobi, R2D2, C3PO, and freaking Farm Boy Luke.
We'll
Like
have
it's criminal. It's criminal.
There you go, AMG. Give my boy his Qui-Gon.
I think Qui-Gon's way more likely to show up here than he is in
Somebody
Legion.
did point out though that it might not be completely on AMG because all that stuff goes through Lucasfilm
Lucasfilm.
and Disney. And somebody said it could easily be something as simple as Liam Nielsen doesn't want his likeness like
It's
tied
very
to
possible.
anything because they pointed out if you look at Duel of the Fates, his face is covered if you look at the card. So
I feel like Disney would have thought ahead and be like, hey, we could use the image for Qui-Gon. I honestly think it's the Disney doesn't want to deal with the Liam Neeson backlash that a lot of people came out when he told that story. We don't have to get into it, but a lot
I
of
don't
people.
care. I just want. I
I
look
know,
at my
but
I look at my Luke and I see little Mark Hamill because I got his face to look like freaking like Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. I just want to look across the table. I'm gonna have. I mean, think about it. I'm gonna look over here. I see Mark Hamill. Look over here. I see Samuel L. Jackson. Where's my Liam Neeson, dog?
hey, okay, all right. You can't say AMG doesn't care about you though. They thought about you, and they're giving your second favorite character in Shatterpoint. They announced the Sith Inquisitors, and your boy Reva is in this one.
Is she?
Yeah, she's in it.
No,
Reva's in this
you're
one.
lying.
Yeah, Reva. Everybody that was in the Obi-Wan series, the Sith Inquisitors, is in this pack.
If Reva, her
Reva.
name is like
Yeah.
no.
Literally, I'm looking at a picture right now of her scope and everything.
I'm gonna buy it just to burn
They were
it.
talking about how they got to work ahead with that because they were developing it before the show was released.
Hopefully they do. Hopefully they give it the same treatment that her lightsaber did and cancel it. Terrible character.
That seems unlikely to me.
The fans didn't want it. It was like I think it was like
Man,
they
but the
showed her
fans will want a
saber.
pack of Sith Inquisitors.
They showed her, and what's gonna happen is they're gonna buy 3 packs of Inquisitors, take those Reva models out, and then just have 2 regular Inquisitors.
Watch is gonna be like broken in the game, and so everyone takes her.
She's so that no.
First tournament, we all need to take Reva. Just but we don't tell Jose. So then he just shows up and everybody's running Reva. It's like, oh wow, I guess wow. Huh.
Nah, terrible. You guys are terrible.
Everyone just beats him with a Reva. That would be so funny. They did dabble into the Civil War. So they announced Jedi Luke with R2D2, Leia in her, I don't know that bounty hunter name that she was, and then Lando and all the assuming bounty hunter guy, which that seems pretty cool. Look pretty legit.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that works because that is more characters than you can field. So I wonder if they're options or if 2 of those guys are a squad, like maybe Lando and R2 are a squad, or I don't know.
I would have to assume you're right on the their squad, but
because Ghost Crew's like 5 models, right?
It's a bunch.
It's a bunch, more than 5.
I think it's like 6 or 7.
Yeah, and like I think you could do this game, and I think they're going to lead into that eventually as the game evolves. Is you don't have to have a support unit with 2 models in it,
right?
Or you can have 2 support units. You know what I mean? So that'd be interesting to see. They did show some artwork for the Ghost Crew, and if I count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are on the Ghost Crew. They showed Mando again with Grogu, and then Iden, which would be pretty cool with the Fire Squad. Han Solo, and then Darth Vader with the Stormtroopers. So
I'm a little disappointed with the Darth Vader with the Stormtrooper set. The Stormtroopers, like, they're fine, but I don't know. I think it would have been cool to have like an officer or something as his secondary instead of just a Stormtrooper captain. But
I don't know. Like, I always thought the officer was weird in Legion.
Because, oh yeah.
Yeah, because like most of the officers are on the deck commanding ships to go fly and stuff like that. You never see them in the field. And in
What
here,
about like an Andor? You see like in the ISB spot, you see those
hold on,
officers all over the place.
hold on, Andor. Now we're getting into Andor. That's
The best Star Wars property.
Trash.
Oh man, I'm watching
Trash.
Andor. I'm rewatching Andor and
Oh.
rewatching Mandalorian back to back right now, and I know which one's better.
Mando.
And it's clearly
100%.
Andor.
Oh man, I just
Trash.
think to myself, Andor, like,
Ay.
God, I don't even want to get into it. I don't get it. We can go on for hours, hours. But yeah, like just aside from Andor and those shows where now they're kind of mainstream. Yeah, I never felt like you would see a commander on a battlefield. You know what I mean? Like if the rebels I could see because the rebels, but
What about like episode 6 on Endor?
yeah, but they were like stationed somewhere. You know what I mean? They weren't in the fields fighting.
I guess
They came
maybe.
to
He
this.
means they weren't part of the battle.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, they were just far away. Like you go do the stormtrooper way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure they'll come out with something though.
you think they'll do cool, like maybe the size is gonna be an issue. I don't know. It looks very very generic basing, like to try to keep everything kind of similar. But I know there's some pretty decent size differences with models in MCP, like the Hulkbuster, Hulk, stuff like that. You think we'll see like a Dewback guy
Oh, yeah.
and like a Tauntaun rider, Tauntaun
Yeah.
Hun,
Yeah.
Tauntaun, Tauntaun.
I definitely could see him going different routes. Because the game is just made up of a primary, secondary, and then a supporting unit. I could even see a squad just be 3 units, and like be the Dewback could be like the support that's
Two
really
Dewbacks.
beefy. Yeah, well, just a
Ye-
beefy like unit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just see these
one
models
unit.
and I'm like,
Yeah,
it's a bigger canvas. I'm all for it. Give me a bigger Dewback.
yeah, that'd be sick. That would be sick. So that was the Shatterpoint news that they all announced. I'm hyped. What are you guys hyped? Are you guys hyped on this?
Hype for the models. Gameplay is to be determined.
You need to watch the demo, bro. Like you need to watch it to see.
Bro, I got so many things I gotta do. Like I said, like my main focus for Adepticon was the games, and the releases. When I wasn't watching that or paying attention to the Discord about that, I was painting. If I wasn't painting, I was riding around on my motorcycle. Like I have so many things. I'd rather just wait till it drops and be like, hey, learn to play. Let's do this.
I feel you. I feel you. What do
Because I'm gonna buy it regardless. I'm gonna buy the starter set regardless. And like I said, if the game's terrible or if I don't like the game, I put it on the back burner and I buy the models because the models look amazing.
Give me a hype scale, 1 through 10.
5 average.
5.
Just
What about
waiting.
you? What about you, Daniel?
I give it like an 8. Like I'm excited to get some new units and try some things.
You were like
I
a
think-
1 at one point.
I know. I've climbed a lot. The gameplay really sold me. I was really excited when they showed like the unit cards. The unit cards were the abilities looked really interesting and cool. Yeah, so no, I'm much higher than I was originally. That's why I've got a pre-order now. I didn't think I was going to, but yeah, they got my wallet again.
Poor wallet.
I have to agree with you. Like, I think I'm at a 9, because now that I see what everything does, now I know what the skill tree does. Like, I think the skill tree is pretty cool. And then yeah, it just seems like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'd be at a 10 if my boy Liam was in the mix, but sorry. Almost had a 10. You take a 5 instead.
So if there wasn't Samuel L. Jackson, then it'd be like a 2.
Yeah, you gotta have.
Wow.
I'm gonna drop F-bombs when I use Mace Windu, and I'm gonna have like his snakes on a plane lines, his all his famous like movie quotes. So whenever I move with him, play a different line.
Nah, he gave it a 5 because of Reva. He's just like, oh, she's in it, so that's
No, they're lucky it's not a 1. They're lucky it's not a 1. They're lucky I'm not returning my pre-order. That's ridiculous.
all
That's
right.
one of the most hated, if not. No, I'm gonna go on a limb.
I don't think it's that.
You're ready?
hated.
Well, ready for my Mustafar take?
Go ahead.
It's definitely
People-
wrong.
People hate
Definitely
the
wrong.
Reva character more than they hate Jar Jar Binks.
No.
I think
Boom.
no. I think you're in the
Boom.
minority. I think you're in the
Boom.
minority.
No,
Like,
terrible.
don't get me wrong. I didn't like the character either. But
They were.
hold up.
She was so terrible. They tried to kickstart her lightsaber just to see if it would work, and they lost money.
But they
So,
didn't even
no.
try to kickstart Jar Jar's lightsaber. So you know.
And even on top of that, you're in the
At least the
minority.
actor got a
you know
cool
why you're in the
role.
minority? You're in the minority because you're old now. You know who this is appealing to the kids. The kids
That's
are gonna
true.
like Reva, and they're gonna be hyped for Reva. And that's all that really matters,
Anybody
man.
liked Reva.
all that
I've never
really
read a single good thing about Reva. Anything I've ever read, like I.
Oh.
It's so terrible.
Okay.
She gets clowned. She got clowned for her acting. She got clowned on Twitter, and
I didn't think her acting was that bad.
it was
I thought the writing
terrible.
was not great.
The writing,
But
yeah,
you
I
know,
agree.
the actors aren't responsible for the writing. They've got to do
Yeah.
the best they can with what they're given.
Somebody edited the entire Obi-Wan show, took out Reva, made little adjustment cuts, and it flowed better and made more sense without her being there. Period.
Mock my
It was
words.
ridiculous. If you can do that to any character, you know you have a bad thing.
You
You
could do
should
that to
not be able
Jar
to write
Jar.
out. Because he's the
Yeah.
one who kicks off Order 66. He gives him Palpatine emergency powers. No, Jar
You
Jar
could cut that.
Some-
You could
yeah,
cut that
some random
scene and
person
just
can
have
do
it be
that.
off scene. Just
Yeah.
oh, the Senate did this, and
Yeah.
that's all.
But you would
That's
have
it.
to redo a script like that. He did not change the script. He just cut her out, and the movie flowed better. They actually took it down. They copyright striked it.
You
which I
can
was like,
literally,
"That's lame."
cut Jar Jar saying like, "Hey, we propose this," and just put in them chanting, "You get power," and then that's it. It's
No, but that's my point. Like you'd have to edit that in. The person who did this edit
You know-
did not edit anything in. He cut
okay.
her
You know,
out.
you know what I'm gonna do every year for your kid's birthday.
Cut Maul out of episode 1 and tell
I'm
me
gonna
it's the
give
same.
your kids a Reva toy every year so they fall in love with her, and then forever that would be their favorite Sith Inquisitor.
I'll burn it. I'll burn it. I'll burn it.
All right. Let's move on to some Legion news. So a lot of Legion news this Adepticon. And we got Ahsoka Tanu's stat card. What do you guys think?
Trash.
You don't like it?
It's definitely
Bro,
not amazing. I don't think it's trash. I don't know. I feel like you have to reserve judgment until you see her command cards because like Ventress has that divulge card that changes her drastically. So I assume probably we'll see that for Ahsoka. And so until I see that, I don't know if I can even judge her.
What makes her terrible besides the command, like if the command cards come out, blow me away, I'll change my mind. Right now, card for card, Ahsoka compared to Ventress, not even close. Ventress all the way. Her kit's weaker. But my thing is where she's at makes her not good. Like if you put this Ahsoka card in Gar, amazing. I'll take it. We got it. You have to cut with her. You're looking at competing cards. Like, do you take her over OP Luke? No.
No.
Do you take her over Mando? Maybe. Depends on how much you like her. Do you take?
I think you take her over Mando. I love Mando, and I'm enjoying him, but I think she's definitely better than Mando.
Chewie's a cornerstone for Guardian in a lot of Rebel lists. You take her over Chewie. Chewie provides a lot more life for your army than she would. The problem with her with this unit card in Rebels is Rebels have so many options.
They're fighting for orders.
You just leave her at home unless you really want to play her.
I think one thing she does well is she's a much better version of if you did like twin lightsabers, right? Because you used to do twin sabers with Sabine and Luke. I feel like she actually slots in way better to that other spot. So
Than Sabine?
Yeah.
No.
I think having another force push is drastically
without
changing.
Master of the Force, you'd have to burn unless her card gives her Master of the Force. You have a one shot use force push.
I think we can assume that at least one of her cards is going to refresh her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put money on it. How much money do you want to put on one of her cards? Have a refresh?
How much? Would you give a paint job?
Oh, I've got some heavies I need painted.
No, the last event that I took second place and I didn't even get my reward for that. Adam still owes me like $10. All right, I was the only winner not paid. I'll throw 20 on it. We'll do 20.
All right,
Okay.
20.
20 that she's gonna have a refresh card, or
at least one of her cards will refresh. We'll give her a refresh action.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What was I gonna say is my hot take is that my Mustafar take is that she's going to be bad in any army, in Gar, and Republic, Empire, because, okay, Rebel is Hero Hammer, and they're always fighting for orders, so it's always hard to give her a defend one, giving her order, like that's so hard to do. Empire or Gar, it's already expensive to run your units, and you're talking about it's not as expensive as the other ones, but you have to have a tax, and so. If you're running her with another force user, that's a heavy tax. If you're running her with just a clone commander, sure, but she's not as powerful as Anakin and Obi-Wan. You're not going to see an Empire. So my theory is that all force users suffer aside from CIS because
I think outside Guardian, I would take her over Obi.
It'd be
no,
close.
yeah. But what I'm just saying is that like CIS is the perfect army for force users because you can reverse order, and that's essentially what you want to do. But yeah,
But they
it's
should have just gave her because she's gonna be in a hero heavy hero hammer faction like Rebels. She shouldn't even had defend. They should have just gave her independent.
I kind of like. Don't get me wrong. I do think the independent's way better, and on Saj it's a whole lot better. But defend one kind of makes sense.
Defend one, I think, works well if she's your only Jedi, right? So if you
Mhm.
ran her like people run Op Luke, then I think it works really well. The problem is
They'd
she's
rather
not
run
as
Op
good
Luke.
as Op Luke, right? So
Yeah.
you're never gonna pick her over Op Luke, and so you're never gonna have her filling that role. So her defend one is kind of,
Yeah, definitely. I don't think she's the squishiest one. I still think it's Ventress is squishy,
I
but
like that she has the extra health. I like that she has Courage 3. I think those are both big improvements. I understand why they came down on their point cost. I'm just hoping that the command cards justify it because they have to be
Jakar
pretty good.
Mastery.
Mhm.
Jakar Mastery makes more sense on her because her dice pool's way weaker.
Yeah,
Oh,
gotta
well,
change
Um,
those whites.
let me actually
but
go over the stats so everyone can know for our listeners. So we didn't even go over that. We just jumped
we
into
just
the
it was
Everyone
just
should
a
know
he
already.
sucks. He's
You-
terrible.
we're telling you the information, but we think you already know this.
I would take her in guard. That's all I'm saying.
So she's 165 points. She's operative. She has 6 health, courage 3, red defense stack. She surges a crit, speed 2, 2 force slots, 2 training slots, and impact 2, pierce 2, and her lightsaber is 2 reds, 2 blacks, 2 whites.
To be honest, I feel like they this loadout with the jump charge, um, they're really showing like her speediness. I honestly feel like I would have been completely comfortable with her having surge down, surge block.
Oh, well, I didn't go over that. Yeah, she's got jump 2, charge, defend 1, deflect, immune to pierce, and Jakar mastery, the same as Ventress. But yeah, it's an interesting thing that they're giving these force users jump 2. Like I understand why they're doing it, but at the same time, it's just
They
like
could have scale.
there's not a whole lot of jump
Oh
or
man.
height 2 in this game.
I think there's gonna be a dramatic switch to it. I think because if you listen to the last Notorious Scoundrels cast, like well no, it wasn't Notorious Scoundrels, it was Stabcast. Ryan was talking about how his tauntauns were like a tiny minute area where his tauntaun could like go over something, but also get shot,
Mhm.
even though you couldn't see the model. So I think they're good. We're gonna see rising models. So I think rising
Terrain.
terrain. It's gonna have to. What's gonna happen is it sucks. It's got to be this way, but event organizers are gonna have to take the tallest silhouettes, like all the silhouette sizes, and then pitch terrain next to them to see what actually would get cover, what wouldn't get cover, because I feel like they're still setting these tables up like those silhouettes don't exist, and getting shot behind a building, like even at LVO, I watched somebody's mortar trooper completely gone, disappeared behind a square building, but because the silhouette was up here, his mortar got one shot.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to take those silhouettes and use that to gauge their terrain before they set tables on now. Because that should not be happening. I don't care if it makes the game easier. If that was my mortar that got blew up, like it, I'd be pissed too.
Going back to Ahsoka.
Ahsoka, sorry, tangent.
Do you guys think? No, you're fine, man. Do you guys think her stat card is worse than a Ventress?
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
And why?
Her attack is pretty so-so. Like we see that even with Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan at least has another role where he's like, well, I'm guarding people. She doesn't. So her role has to be attack, which means that she's gotta do better than that. Like, I don't know how else to say it. You gotta do better than that.
I think you staple tenacity on her. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think it is worse than Ventress, shockingly, but I think she's gonna make up for it, hopefully, with the command cards. So we'll see. One of
I
them,
looking at both cards though, I feel like Venture should have had a different mastery. The only reason I'm saying is because Jakar mastery being able to to use your dodges to crank up your attack makes more sense on her dice pool because you have 2 whites, you have 2 blacks, you have 2 reds. Those whites are more than likely going to blank. I feel like Ventra should have had a different mastery. Like, might as well took what is it that Dooku has?
Makashi mastery.
Well,
They
she can
should
get
just
that too.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, they should have made that her mastery and gave her something else on the card.
I
Because
feel
it makes no sense now that I see both now
Because
that
she
I see
doesn't
both
surge, she's
attacks.
really likely to have at least a couple blank black dice.
I feel
So-
like they did that to future-proof future releases, because I think they're starting to run out of masteries. So it's like, how many
No,
times?
there's
can you
plenty.
slap?
They have plenty.
Not as many Jedi's that are out there. Like,
There's
Mace Windu is gonna have his own mastery. Qui-Gon's gonna have his own mastery.
He's gonna have a Taro.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
You just don't want a Taro on a fast boy.
So yeah, I'd agree with you guys. Ahsoka, hopefully her command cards, which one of hers is guaranteed to be a teamwork. We don't know who it is. I think it's gonna be Sabine, because if Sabine's gonna be in the Ahsoka one and they got a
Yeah,
chance
that
to
actually
work on
makes
this,
sense. I like that.
Yeah, I don't think. I know people are saying Mando. I don't see it.
Could you imagine running a double sabers though, and it's Sabine and Ahsoka?
Yeah.
That's just worse than Luke and Sabine, right? There's no way that's gonna be better. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm
So,
shitting
hold
at
on, question.
Ahsoka. Sabine is so hard to kill already. Like,
What about this? We do know in the show she was right there when Luke was training Grogu.
Mhm.
You think we think we have a better shot at it being a Luke card?
No,
That would be interesting. But
She was there with him.
I think we'd have to see more scenes of her and Luke together in her
Well,
series.
supposedly Luke was training Grogu for 2 years. So
Yeah,
I
but
don't.
I don't know if you
she
get a
stayed
teamwork
there.
card off of off-screen information.
here's
you
my
know?
here's my hot take. AMG already said that they have been working with Lucasfilm about the new releases and stuff like that. So I think they're gonna have a teamwork card with Sabine for the Ahsoka series that's coming out. That Sabine's gonna be in it, and you're gonna see them be working a lot together. I guarantee you, they're already like bringing this out, future-proofing it. Which when is Ahsoka? Not Legion coming out, but the show coming out.
Later
anyone
this
know?
year, I think.
I think it's fall this fall. Is that right? Or is it
It's
really
later
soon?
this year.
Let
Well,
me see.
okay.
I'll look it up.
While he's looking at that, I honestly think that the release window for Ahsoka is going to be around the time when the show drops. So I want to say in June we're gonna probably get Ahsoka, but maybe.
So
maybe
this
there's-
new live, I'm gonna tell you right now, this new live action trend we're on for JR is gonna come to a crashing halt when they get to Exegol and they complete the circle of the sequel trilogies. JR is just gonna give up.
No, man. You know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. They're gonna go into that weird dimension Ezra was in, and Ahsoka's gonna be like, "Oh, this is the timeline where 8, 9, and 10 don't exist, or 7, 8, 9 don't exist. Let's go on that one." And then that's gonna
No.
that's gonna be
No, the world between
And they're gonna
worlds.
see Maul with Dark Talon. I'm like, yeah.
No.
All right. So what's the verdict, Daniel?
I'm having trouble finding it. It said late to mid to late 2023, so it's probably summer or fall.
Okay.
I saw it the other day. I don't know why I can't find it now.
Yeah. So that's my theory. It's gonna be Sabine, but we'll see. Or it could be just a teamwork that says insert these names. Like, what if you have teamwork with a bunch of people?
Or it could be just a teamwork card like Jen's. That unit, you order this unit, gets teamwork.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Teamwork Ahsoka.
Mhm. So I'm excited for Ahsoka. We'll see what happens. But moving on, they released some Ewok news. Wicket and Lugray.
Low gray.
Low gray?
Low gray. Yep.
Low gray. All right.
My boys.
We don't got anything on him other than that one of his weapon has suppressive. But interesting enough, Wicket is a commander, and he is so the Ewoks are going to be a battle force. They have their own Ewok icon, and you can use them in the Rebels, or at least Wicket you can use in the Rebels. 70 points, independent dodge 1, low profile, nimble, relentless, scout 1, scouting party 2, sharpshooter 2, unhindered. That's a whole lot of keywords. 3 training slots, 5 health, 2 courage 2, white defense dice, surges up and down, but he surges a crit on his attack. And then his spear is 2 reds and a black, pierce 1 and melee.
It's the
And
same as the Beskar spear, ain't it? Or is Beskar spear has one more attack die?
I don't
No,
know.
that's the same as the Beskar spear.
And it's better
Yeah.
than the best card spear.
Oh my
Well,
god!
Beskar spear gives you duelist, so you have some extra defense. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the wooden stick is almost on par with Beskar. Let's just point that out right now.
Well, the interesting thing is that he has sharpshooter 2. His sling is range 1 and 2, pierce 1, and then it's a black die, and it's we don't know what the keyword is, but it's primitive. Yeah, that's I don't know if I want to be
Something's
shooting with
gonna
my
have
boy.
something's gonna have. Call me crazy. It just seems like Sharpshooter 2. There's gonna be some kind of shenanigans where he's gonna get extra dice, like not a command card, like some unit because
Like fire
they talked
support.
about like they talked about the we'll get to the command card later, but the unit that was required for that command card is a trapper upgrade, and
Mhm.
we don't even know what that is. So that trapper might have like fire support or ambush, something that's gonna let that make more sense, I think.
You guys think primitive is a good keyword or a bad keyword? Like against them?
Definitely bad.
Yeah, I heard rumors that primitive is basically gonna mean like you can't pierce like you can't pierce armor or something like that. That's what the word going around is.
Oh yeah.
It's detrimental because it's a wooden stick.
I could see it
Like
like you. Well, I don't know. It's so weird. Like I
It's
figured
funny
it
that
would.
it would give it pierce then.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you use it on skin. You just don't tackle dark troopers with Wicket. You get punched into oblivion.
Oh, so you can't use it on armor. Yeah, that would make
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's a primitive weapon. It's wood.
I heard
Uh,
someone say that it meant that you couldn't aim, and I could see that too.
that's true too.
Aim my spear.
But it's a sling, so you're like,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, he aimed him though.
With the little
Taking
eye.
domes. He was taking domes.
Well, we'll have to see. They haven't released it yet. It's interesting. It seems like he has a lot of survivability, independent dodge. Then he has nimble. Then he has low profile. So it seems like he's gonna dodge. I mean, not
It's a
dodge.
lot of stuff, but it's 5
Yeah.
health and white saves.
Yeah,
So
That falls apart.
yeah.
yeah, but it's hard. We can't really make any calls yet right now because we gotta go over the command cards first. I think that changes it a lot because I know people are like white saves. They're gonna be weak. They're gonna get ran through. You got to remember, they get an ATS2 with the inconspicuous. They have a bunch of sneaky keywords. I feel like they're gonna be if they're not gonna be as light as people think they are because those keywords are gonna make sense. Low profile alone, unless you have sharpshooter, you got to get 3 over cover before you even take 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
Um,
In the words
but
of Luke Cook, just roll crits.
but
Just roll
I'm
crits.
gonna I know they haven't. We just have the back of
That's
Logray's card, but
our
just
forever world
just off
champion.
of
Just roll
just
crits.
Giving the best
Just,
advice you can give.
yeah, just off of the Logray character alone, I'm willing to bet he's gonna be he's a shaman like in the universe. He's gonna be a healer. He's gonna be an unlimited medic. You watch. He's gonna be an unlimited medic, or he's gonna be like some kind of defense booster.
Or what if you give like a chant where you like make them more savage and then they roll like extra black dice or something like
That's
that.
what I'm saying. Like he's gonna have some kind of trickery mechanic, but he's gonna have some kind of external keyword that's gonna get like he's a shaman. He's gonna heal. He's gonna give him better defense, or he's gonna be something where you're gonna want to kill Logray first.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So-
I feel like the worry though, looking at this faction, like with nothing else, just looking at those 2 cards, bounty hunters are gonna eat this up. Like as a player that loves to play bounty hunters, I look at this, it's like this is as good as a generic commander, but you paid more. Like yes, please. I
And you
already
gotta
have
get closer to
sharpshooter,
me.
I
Yeah.
can run around. I'm gonna eat that up. So
Yep.
that would be my one concern is I feel like they're just based on this alone, it looks like they're gonna be a little weak to bounty hunters, but maybe
Well,
that's
I think
appropriate.
I think it's their other unit that you're gonna want to bounty more than anything.
Ooh.
C3PO.
Oh, well,
C3PO.
let's go over the command card before we get to C3PO. Because C3PO is an interesting one that I want to talk about. So I'll go over the command cards. I'll start with the 3-pip and we can talk about them. The 3-pip is for the tribe. It's 3 Ewok trooper units. And it says you must nominate a Ewok commander this round if the beginning of the activation phase, while issued in order by this card, may remove or recover. They may recover This round, Ewok troopers with face-up orders gain Dauntless and Relentless. That seems pretty solid.
Those
It's
are
remember
good
it's
keywords.
it's orders not from this card though. So
Is it?
if you
Sorry,
can get some eight,
if
yeah,
it
it's
sounds like I was
orders.
struggling, it's
It
because
says
it's loaded on
issues
my
in
screen.
issued in order by this card may
Is
recover.
it by this card?
And then the other thing is any troopers. So all the troopers with orders get Dauntless and Relentless. The ones issued with the card get to recover.
We need some tech Ewoks to get
Whoa,
some
that'd be-
HQ uplinks in there.
That'd be so huge, bro.
That's gonna be low
Here's
grade.
13 acts of acts of
Yeah.
relentless. Eat that.
Yeah, that'd be gnarly. That seems
The
pretty
raging furball.
Well, but if they're range 2, like they'll need something to start closing the distance. Because otherwise, like
They've
they'll
Dauntless,
they'll
right?
just
It
back
gives-
up and shoot and back up and shoot and back up and shoot.
cool. Mhm.
Yeah, they have Dauntless for that turn if they're gonna rush.
Yeah, no, I mean this card's good, but it's not as good as like on like stormtroopers because I think they'll probably all be range 2 if Wicket's an indication.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they're all going to be range 2.
So they need Relentless just to get there.
After what I seen at Adepticon, I'm not talking shit on range 2 ever again.
Which I think I skipped that. In Shatterpoint, they are releasing Ewoks too. They had concept art, so
Yeah.
I didn't.
I'm so pumped.
I passed over that. Okay, the 2-pip hiding in plain sight. It's 2 Ewok trooper units. You must nominate an Ewok commander. Units issued in order by this card gain inconspicuous this round.
That's so gnarly, dude.
Very good.
That's what I'm saying. They're not gonna be as easy to kill. Like, all right, I'm gonna set up this.
That
play.
is
Your asses
only
are mine.
2
Inconspicuous.
units though, because and so like as an opponent, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll just shoot the other Ewoks because I'm assuming they're gonna be like B1s where you
But it's
probably
all their
field
key-
6.
It's gonna come down to what the trooper card looks like.
That's
Because
true.
if the trooper card looks like Wicket, and let's say like the trooper card doesn't even have relentless. If we're looking at Wicket, let's say the trooper unit just has independent dodge, low profile, nimble. Let's get rid of relentless, get rid of scout, and give them unhindered. So independent dodge, nimble, unhindered. That's already you can be like, okay, I can't shoot these guys. I'm gonna go for these guys. Well, they have strong keywords in themselves. If I issued orders, and I think it's gonna be like that because if I issued orders to these 2 guys and your reaction is I'm gonna go kill the other guys, well, guess what? The other guys all have independent.
Here's my
I
That's
think
true.
this is gonna be like I think it's gonna be like Shadow Collective. It's gonna be a full on independent soup army, and I think people are really underestimating how this is gonna play out. And I could be overestimating because, like I said, we haven't seen the units. I think
No, I
until we
think-
see
yeah.
the core, we don't even know what the trapper does. Like the trapper could immobilize things. We don't know. Like, do you really want to rush in to these 2 units when you're gonna get like like whipped and immobilized? Like, I think they're gonna be a lot tougher to get through than I think or than people think.
You think they're going to have a core Ewok?
Yeah, for the battle force, if it's a battle force, yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll need at least something.
I think we're
what
gonna
if-
see
what-
the core Ewoks, and I think
You
I would
technically
like to
don't
see-
need a core Ewok because it's a battle force. They could do what the Imperial Remnants did is you could take special forces as your core, right?
Or even just say that Battle Force doesn't have
well,
a core requirement.
yeah, that
Yeah.
yeah,
But I think they
but
will.
they showed a core though. I think at one point because they were saying it was supposed to be like
No, they
B1 type, but like
They,
more.
they said that this is the most units. They're gonna have the most units that there has ever been in one unit card. So
Yeah, it's gonna be a
So
core.
more than 6.
yeah,
It's gonna
so-
be a core.
But I mean, if there's 7, let's assume it's 7. That's gonna be a whole lot for all these keywords in a core. I think it's gonna be special forces, and then you have what we're gonna get to is Chewie and the ATST, and then Wicket and Lugray, and then C3PO, and then you could take.
I think we're gonna get
levels.
gliders. There's no way we get Ewoks and not get gliders.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get gliders. Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think people are sleeping, and I think they're just thinking like, oh, it's Ewoks. Like, if we know anything, we know that games like this, when they have creators that create something they love a lot, those
It's
things
strong.
tend to have a little more bang for their buck.
Yeah.
And I think they're not showing us low grade because he's gonna be nuts, and that's more like hype. Wicket's decent, but like I said, the core, it's gonna depend on their core. Like I said, if their core just has 3 of Wicket's keywords, it's gonna be, and especially seeing Pikes, like how Pikes released busted as hell. Like I can see this being busted as
So
hell.
inconspicuous, you can attack, but they just can't attack you, right?
They can't. They if
Once
you
you
attack,
attack,
you
they can
lose
shoot
it.
back.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay. I wasn't
yeah.
sure because I
Once
know only R2.
it's once you attack, once you're in range 2, or once you aid a objective action. So if I grab a box, inconspicuous is done. If I shoot
No,
you,
you're thinking of
inconspicuous is done.
you gotta think of incognito.
Is it
Oh
incognito?
yeah.
Yeah,
Inconspicuous is the one with the suppression, right?
yeah,
They have to
so
shoot someone
Oh
else.
yeah.
yeah, so like in my head, I'm thinking they could shoot back. They just if there's something else in the range, they have to shoot
Oh,
that other thing.
but if they all have training slots, just take duck and cover.
That's that's what I'm saying. But
First
I,
shot still comes through. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. First
But
shot comes
you got to get 3 overhead.
that's true.
assuming right that they have the same keyword as wicked.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on
I
to.
mean, Pikes keywords. Are you gonna be shocked? Like
I'm not saying I don't disagree with you. I think they do.
I'm not
but
saying
like,
you are. I'm just saying like I'm not. I would not be shocked. Like
yeah, I wouldn't be shocked either. It's gonna be interesting.
we're getting it. It's getting. It's my love Legion. I'm hyped about Legion. I'm pumped we got an official Legion season. But what I'm starting to notice the trend of, and I'm really not liking, is we're literally getting to a point where battle forces are stronger than your basic factions, and I do not like that.
But that just takes a little bit of rebalancing, right? Like, and honestly, the only boogeyman there really is Blizzard Force. That just needs a little bit more rebalance, and then it's not an issue. Right?
Yeah.
Nerf Black Suns.
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah, Black Suns are fine.
Black Suns
Black
are
Suns
rough
killed-
because they either hit or they don't. And if you
Yeah.
blank a couple important rolls,
Like that's what happened in my case. My Black Sun is just whiffed. You know, it's
Yeah.
just how it humble sometimes. All right, they got 2 1-pips. One of them is Lock Trap. It issues to no units.
So good.
Yeah, it says this round at the start of the activation phase, 1 Ewok Trooper unit that contains an Ewok Trapper miniature may make the attack listed below, which is range 1 to 4. It's got 2 reds, 3 blacks, impact 4, pierce 1.
That is amazing.
Assuming no Wicked's a commander, but you think they got surge to hit?
I honestly, looking at this, the Trapper, how much you want to bet that's going to be add-on? That's going to be the equivalent of a Saboteur, but instead of an explosive like bomb, it's a Trapper. It's going to be an immobilized Saboteur.
I think if the Trapper is going to be a Saboteur, that's just you have to be range 1 to throw something down. I think this is the only exception.
But you can detonate it from wherever you want. I'm just saying it's going to slow you down. It's going to be it's a Trapper. You're trapped.
Yeah. This seems really good. This is pretty much an Alpha Strike turn 1.
Here, Dark Trooper, hold this.
Impact 4, pierce 1. Yeah, seems good. The other 1-pip is, what does that say? Ordeal Assault. I can't really see because it's blurred out on my screen. It's another 1-pip. It's true Wookiee Trooper units, and you must nominate a Wookiee commander. The weapon of the Wookiee Trooper unit that have a face up.
yeah, all those Wookiees are Ewoks. But
Am I saying Wookiee?
Yeah.
You say Wookiee. Like, yo, we're gonna get crossover. I'm down.
Really
Oh,
short
man.
Wookiees is what he means.
Yeah.
The really short
The
Wookiees.
little bears, the level of bears. Ewoks.
Murder bears.
Ewok Trooper units that have a face-up order token gain suppressive and immobilize 1 this round.
Oh my god.
This round, after a friendly special force unit forms an attack against a unit with a face-up order token, shuffle that token back into the order pool. So this is why I think they're going to be special forces, is because of this command card. I think you're going to have special forces Wookiees. Man, I'm on Wookiee today. Ewoks. And yeah, that's my theory, is there's going to be no cores.
Nah, there's got to be core.
But
Because
yeah,
you're gonna have a special.
If there's no core, then I don't. Well,
you can only take
Yeah, I
a
don't
max
know.
of 3 special forces, and if they change the rules.
well, Battle Force will change the rules for sure.
yeah.
Well,
See,
what battle force has it? So looking at the battle forces right now, there's no. At least I don't think there is. There's no battle force that you cannot take a core in. Like even in remnants, you have to take a core.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
there's
but
ones
there's
you
no
take
battle
less.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can take less. But I'm just saying, like, to say we won't get a core doesn't stack with me just because every battle force you had to take Gar, you got to take 2 phase 2s. Remnant, you got to take 1 of each thing before you double
And
stack.
that's the thing beautiful about battle forces is you can change it to where you don't have to, right? It's not meaning you have to. It's just, hey, let's make a battle force where you don't have to. Because
Yeah.
I can see
then
them
like,
I can see them doing like 4. You could take 4 of these guys in the
but
battle force.
this is supposed to be another swarm type army, which is why I'm thinking you would have to have core.
But that's why I think they're not going to, because the swarm is already filled by the CIS. I think they're trying to do a different version of a swarm, but that's not a swarm-esque. Like,
You just don't want nothing better than your swarm.
no, I'm being legit. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my CIS, but like when you have
No, there's a
crap
load of
Gar and Empire.
you got me saying Wookiees now. It's a crap load of Ewoks. Dude, you can't just be like, here's a swarm, but not a swarm. No, they have an entire village. They used an entire village to wreck the Empire.
You want Wookiees cores, you want Ewok cores, you want Gungan cores. I don't
No. I want a Gungan army, not just a core. No, I want a full Gungan. Misa have a grand army. That's what they say. That's what they say.
But we all know they were exaggerating.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they're not. I don't think they're going to. I honestly, and here's my theory on this unit card, C3POs, is that they're going to be special forces, and you could take probably more than 3. But I don't think you get a core option, because if it's all going to be for rebels, aside from its own special battle forces, which, assuming that the battle force says that you have to take rebels, we don't know if you have to take rebels in battle force yet. In Wookiee one. So C3POs that's a command.
Even then, what special forces are you gonna take? Are you gonna take Ewoks in your rebel units? Like, rebels have pretty good special forces units.
But that doesn't mean they don't suffer from having another one.
But you would. It's like the Ahsoka Luke conundrum. Like, why would you take Ahsoka and rebels when you could just take Luke?
Because some people like to play different things.
Right? It'd be a swarm. They don't really have, like, that'd be interesting to have a swarm special forces.
Yeah.
I still think it'll be a core.
You want to see a special forces unit with 7 minis in it? 8 minis.
I think it's unlikely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
well, here's what backs up my theory, right? So we got C3PO. He's a commander in this one. Golden God is a subtext. What's interesting?
Him so hard.
He's only in the battle force because he can't be placed in any other army. He has.
He better come on his throne.
Oh yeah, he's sitting in the chair in the picture, so he's definitely
gonna.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I love? I'd love it if he was sitting on a throne and then the Ewoks are carrying it. That'd be sick. But he has 3 health, 2 courage, white saves. He surges to defend only. He's speed 2. He has no attacks. He costs 40 points. And his key cards are Master Storyteller. Choose up to X friendly Ewok units at range 1, where X is the current round number. Each chosen unit gains 2 surge tokens. It's pretty sick. Divine Influence. While they are within range 1 of C3PO, Ewoks units gain Guardian 2 C3PO. While using Guardian, they may cancel crit results as though they were hits, which is nice.
That screams core unit. Why would you Guardian with highly sought after special forces when you can Guardian with a core unit?
Okay, here we go. I get you. Here's where I think it's going to be special forces, and I've been thinking about this a lot. Compel Ewok Trooper, infiltrate.
Okay.
I don't think. Now
those are separate. Those are separate. They talked about that.
Are you sure they talked about
infiltrate?
it?
Yep.
No,
he can infiltrate.
You're pulling my chain right now.
No, did you watch the last episode of Tory Scoundrels? So all those commas aren't conjointed keywords. They didn't have enough room on the card for all those keywords. So 3PO can infiltrate, and then he can compel. And you can compel you courage 1 units if you want.
But why would you infiltrate C3PO? Obviously, we don't know what everything else does, so there might.
I would say just because like scouting party exists on Wicket, so I think there's going to be a lot of scouting happening. So then you'll probably infiltrate C3PO just to keep him up.
You you have an inconspicuous ATST, like you can, and the cool thing is people didn't think about this, don't think about it a lot. That ATST blocks LOS, so you could literally march 3PO behind the
And
ATST.
supposedly the ATSC is going to have incognito.
Yeah.
I-
So
it-
I'm telling you, dude, it's I get the whole no core option, but if 3PO only has 3 life and he has to be within range 1 to use all this cool stuff, you're gonna want to cover him in swarms of Ewoks to Guardian.
All right. How much you want to take a bet on it?
Oh my
I go
goodness!
2.
Yeah.
Take a bet.
All right, 20 bucks. 20
Okay,
bucks. Another
20.
20.
20 that you say there's going to be Ewok troopers.
There's gonna be Ewok troopers.
I'm sorry,
Ewok core unit.
Ewok
Ewok
core.
core unit.
There's for
Okay.
sure Ewok troopers. We've already seen them.
Yes, you're right. So
Ewok
okay.
core unit.
Ewok core units. Okay, maybe you're right that this is that he.
No. You already said.
No, I'm
That's
talking
too
about-
late. The money's down.
No, I'm not.
The money's
no.
down.
I still think they're gonna
We
be
do
special
not
forces.
promote gambling here on the Lost Legion, kids. This is just me going through my ways to prove these guys wrong.
I'm saying I think you're right about that. He
And
can-
here's the transition. I'm gonna win this bet, and I'm gonna use your money to pay Daniel when I lose that bet.
Yeah, so we'll see what C3PO cards does.
So
It's-
exciting, man.
It's important to note that they did show off Chewie's key cards. It says Chewbacca. It says let the Wookiee win.
The Wookiee win.
Yeah, and then he's in an ATST. His key card is fixed front, impact 3, and there's another one that's hidden. So yeah, that's going to be exciting. And I forget, you're right. You could just infiltrate this. Well, the ATST can't infiltrate.
No, but if we don't have its full unit. What if it has scout?
What if
It's a-
one of his command cards says he must infiltrate?
Then you
I don't think
just,
that matters though, because you can always infiltrate back into your own lines.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's interesting.
It'd be a boss mode. I just infiltrate right next to them all.
It's gonna be. I'm excited. It looks a lot
This-
of fun.
This like I know I talked crap and I said if Gungans had a battle force I wouldn't do it because I wanted them to have a full army.
Hmm.
I'm so excited for this Ewok release that if they did, I'm on board a Gungan battle force now.
I'm
If
hoping.
it gets me Liam Neeson,
That's your best shot.
Yeah, yeah.
that's my best shot.
I'm hoping I secretly lose this bet because I would love just fielding Ewoks. Just like Ewok.
Come on, man.
Well, I don't want to do a Wookiee one, but that's the thing.
Don't make
Wookiee
a
might
Wookiee
never get a
core
core.
again.
I could see Wookiee
don't
not
think
getting
so?
a core.
Yeah.
I could see them doing the thing where the battle force is just special forces. But Ewoks, I feel like you got to make their guys core. I'm with Jose on this one.
Okay. So
Yeah, when Ewoks drop, I'm putting all painting things
What was-
inside,
what
and
was-
I'm just doing.
what was your guys' bet again? I already forgot it.
Whether or not Ahsoka will have a
so
refresh
good,
card.
A refresh card.
Okay, that's right. All right. All right, moving on to those guys. A lot of hype. Super excited for the Ewoks. They did reveal some concept art of what we're going to be getting in the future.
Mhm.
Roman called this one.
Yeah,
He called
Roman,
this one so
Roman,
hard.
yeah, he called this one Geonosians. I'm kind of bummed he's right because like I don't want I want Geonosians in my army, but not my core option, my third one. But they did say it's a battle force, so probably going to be the same as Ewoks. So if the Ewoks do have a core option, then I could see the Geonosians having a core option. But it's going to be a battle force.
The
You know
model
what this is going to be?
sick.
This is going to finally be the CIS's emplacement trooper option.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. The
That's
That's
what
going to be
I-
awesome. I want to set those turrets up.
Roman was saying that the sound cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I wanted to have sharpshooter 2. Just shoot right through cover.
I want them to
Oh
have
sound,
my
I don't care.
God.
I
It's
want them-
sound.
I want them to have hive mind, and it just operates just like coordinate, but it's hive mind.
But you can't cross between droids and
Yeah.
Geonosians.
Yeah,
That'd be interesting.
yeah, that'd be a good concept. And they also showed Sith Inquisitors are coming to Empire
So-
players.
So hold on. This is important because we had mentioned something like this a while ago. Because they were saying on the podcast that they don't know if it's individual like hero type units or if it's a unit of just 2. This fits in our Bayes and Chirrut theory. If this pops off and it's just an operative version with just 2 Inquisitors, I could see what we were talking about having Chirrut and Bayes come out as just their own hero unit.
You think
Yeah.
so?
I could see this being the squad of 2 because if you remember when they updated the rules, they said they talked about how force upgrades come from the leader of the force unit.
Oh,
So
you're
this could be the unit they were
right.
talking about developing,
You're
right? Because they probably
right.
had something in their minds when they made that.
Yep.
It might have
Mhm.
just been future proofing, but it
Come
could have
on,
been they were
Bayes and
developing
Truth.
this
Yeah.
unit.
Yeah,
That's
you're
my hope.
right.
That's my
You're
hope.
right.
Yeah,
You're
yep.
right.
This
So this is our
opens up
first
so
Jedi
many.
team. And
Yeah,
that's how
this
they make
opens
them
up so
worse than
much cool
regular
stuff.
Jedi. They're like, oh yeah, they have 3 health each. So
Mhm.
combined, they're like a Jedi, but 3 health each.
They're not a Jedi. No, dude, this is design space I do not mind. Tag teams. This opens up. What was I saying? Uh, Qui-Gon and Padawan Obi. Make them operatives. Like, dude,
Yeah.
this opens up so much design space. I'm for this completely. 1,000,
Ah,
1,000%.
my only issue is like playing against Grogu and Mando counterpart. Like you could technically base Mando if you base Grogu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's any multi mini unit you can do that with.
Well, I know,
That's
but
not
like
different.
I know, I understand that, but it's I'm not against it. It's an interesting concept.
This is the equivalent of when back in the day during Rexstar when they would cheese and they would use a strike team, but then they would use fives.
Mhm.
So fives would just he would have offensive push and HQ uplink.
Who
So
do you guys think is good?
he would hit offensive push, move up, recover, and generate aims as just a 2-man unit.
Yeah.
So this is the same concept, but it's just it's an actual hero character. Like it's dope.
If you guys are right, who do you think is the unit leader?
It's what, seventh sister and who?
I think it's fives, brother
Fifth
five,
fifth brother.
fifth brother. Yeah.
It'd be fifth brother because based off of the Obi-Wan show, fifth brother tried to call a lot of the shots. He would
Yeah, I
be
don't know.
lead.
I don't know either of these two well enough to say.
Well, I'm
Are you
excited.
guys are you shaving off the wish on that spinning saber? Because that wish looks stupid.
Oh, yeah, I'm kind of indifferent, but like I'm hoping that it's a piece that you can glue on. So you don't have to put it on if you don't want to.
I think when I get them, what I'm gonna try to do is cut out the saber around her arm and
Mhm.
see if I could do like a little wire so I could spin the saber.
That'd
That'd
be
be cool.
sick. That would be
Try to
sick.
do that.
That's sick. Yeah, so I'm excited for these guys. Empire getting more love. Not like they need it, but yeah. Moving on. Gar got some love. They showed a bad batch.
Oh,
Bad batch.
I'm so pumped, dude. They better all be like Echo and Fives, where if I don't want to run Bad Batch by itself as a unit, they're all heavies. I could just put one in each of my core. My
I
phase twos with a Bad Batch member in each core.
That'd be
Woo!
cool.
that would be cool. I'd be down for that, but I bet you can't do it because
Oh my god, stop downing me. Don't down me
the only
anymore.
reason
My hopes
why
and dreams.
the only reason why is because Clone 99 specifically operates just themselves. They never worked with anybody aside from mainstream guys, right?
That's true. That is true.
So I
Didn't
feel like
Crosshair defects and work for the Empire?
yeah, but I mean I'm talking about like in the Clone Wars, like they were known as their own like force and they did their own thing. But yeah, they're super excited.
Omega's in there? That's crazy.
I'm shocked Omega's in there. I'm only shocked because this is, I believe, the first kid in the Legion that
No,
potentially.
Grogu.
Oh,
Grogu's like
right,
50 years
right.
old.
He's
But
still a
he's still a
kid.
kid. Yeah, he's still a
By
kid.
Yoda years.
Okay.
But he dies. So like Omega dies when you do the killer. I think the official stance is that no, I think their official stance is that they retreat. Whenever someone's defeated, they retreat.
Nah, dies, death.
They're dead. You're killing Omega.
But
Poor
he doesn't.
Chunker.
What is he? I know it's Gar and Rebels. I think Omega is only Rebels, right? Like
Probably.
Grogu is only Rebels.
She probably shouldn't be Gar. She never does anything for Gar.
Yeah, so it's right. I know. I think it's Rebels that she's with.
And then probably Crosshair is only
And I can see him both. I can see him go Gar and Empire.
really.
No,
I could see him Empire.
They already
Yeah.
said it's Gar and Rebels only.
I could see him being Gar only then.
Yeah, positive. They've mentioned it on a lot of the podcasts already.
That's interesting that he's not in.
Well, they might have him be like an upgrade that you can only take, and he could be
Yeah.
like how Grogu was in a pack that can be used Empire Rebel, but he's only Rebel.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
You think Omega's gonna have like an actual use, or you think they're gonna give him the Grogu treatment and make Omega like 17
Well,
points
she-
useless?
She'll have a gun.
Yeah, she has her
It's gonna
bow,
not
right?
be good.
Yeah,
It'll be like
yeah.
Wickets.
As primitive.
Yeah, yes, please. That'd be hilarious.
She's gonna have Inspire,
Next game's like
Inspire the bad
17 points and primitive. The
And then when
hell?
she shoots, doesn't like keywords they add to the whole pool, right? So
Yeah.
then,
Oh,
if she's shooting
no!
with them, all their
You
guns are
never fire
primitive.
support. You never fire support.
Oh man.
Shoot, but let me fire support this Dark Trooper. Oh, hey, freaking 7 crits. Primitive. Damn it.
And what they also announced is the store championship. Now I'm hyped for this.
Yes.
I don't know if every store can get it. I don't know what the parameters, but in this box, I feel like it's kind of misleading, but that's because we don't have a lot of information. It's the 2023 tournament kit. It comes with a bunch of promos. You got Vader, Grievous, which Grievous kind of looks weird. Chewie, Yoda,
Grievous
Boba,
gets no love.
and then Gar Saxon, and also promos for other ones, but we can't see that. And what's most important is that you get a World's invite.
It's one World's invite per 16 player. So if you have an event with 32, you can get 2.
Dude.
So we
And
need
to
to
get
find a
them,
weekend when JR's out of town so that one of us can go to Worlds.
Oh my god.
I'd be
well,
so
no,
bummed.
yeah, so now we're just scheming behind JR's back.
Talking to Roman. Hey
go to
Roman,
LVO
so
waiting like a romance.
I've got JR's vacation days right
You,
here.
you leave us peasants alone, JR. We're trying to go to Worlds too.
I hope we
I
get
think-
multiple.
I think the store has to request for like it's all hearsay. Like if you watch Notorious Scoundrels, Timbo was talking about it because he was the one paying attention to it. He was saying that you need to. I think you need to reach out to AMG for these kits.
That makes
So to start, just for people who are running stores like this, to start looking into and inquiring because these are going to be sought after because of the invites attached to them.
Yeah,
And on top of that, there was also talk about an official Star Wars Legion season starting May the 4th and ending at World. So we're back to normal Legion pre-COVID where you would have to go and win a damn invite. So that's awesome. More motivation to go to these things. It's a good time to be hooked in Legion.
Oh yeah, I'm excited because
I'm pumped.
I'm hoping to get one of these invites as soon as possible, so that way I can start prepping
He
for
said
the
as soon as possible.
next
Roman, so
Adepticon.
Fairgrounds, we're gonna set this up, right? We got to set it up at me and Ed's.
Well,
Chris, I need to win this.
The other thing that I want is in this box they show the ship from Return of the Jedi, Jabba's palace. I'm hoping that's in the box. Like that's a prize for whoever won, and that's a terrain piece. That'd be
That'd
sweet.
be down to ATS here.
That'd be sweet. Yeah. But yeah, super stoked for that. I'm excited. I can't wait. Hopefully we get multiple boxes so we can have multiple people go. But we'll see. And the last thing they announced for Legion was the Strike Me Down Star Wars Legion Convention exclusive set. Now this is a exclusive promo set that's only going to be for Star Wars Celebration in Europe. But I thought I bring it up because it is going to have alternate cards for Operative Luke and I'm assuming Commander Luke Vader, but it could be Operative.
You'll be able to. It'll be like the old Celebration Vader and who else was it? Obi-Wan. You'll be able to get them in the US for the low price of $1,000+.
Mm-hmm.
Well, right
on
now
eBay.
It's sitting at 90, but you got to go to the Celebration. I mean, I'm not super pumped about it because I feel like we already got promos for the other guys. And on top of that, these aren't main guys I main anyway, so it's whatever.
It's just a third model, a third mold for something that it's just.
I'm hoping that because you get Palpatine,
you can play with them, right?
I'm hoping. Yeah, you can play with them. You could.
Yeah, those models look weird when they're not against each other. You're like, yeah, I don't know. I'm a stickler for stuff like that.
I'm hoping you get a Palpatine model and it sits in the chair, and then you can use that in a terrain piece and have
That'd be
a
cool.
Death Star. Yeah. So, well, that's it for those news, guys. Lots of things. It's a great time to be a Legion player. I'm so excited. So moving on, we had the World Championship tournament, and
they could have did better if they did that same concept, but Episode 1 Duel of Fates, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Darth Maul, like that little pose in the reactor.
that would be cool. That would. Be
It would have been new. It would have been different.
You know what would be
this
the
is
best.
it's the anniversary of Return of the Jedi. That's why they're doing this.
No, but well,
You know, it'd be awesome if next year they did what Jose was saying. You have a Obi-Wan, you know, Maul in the middle, and then Qui-Gon, and then you could use those models besides Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon's a stand-in.
No, you can use Qui-Gon. Let's say that's the only Qui-Gon. It's like
I would buy it.
$3,000.
I'm in. I'm in. I'd be down.
He's
I
like
don't
in the
even
line,
care.
just like us.
It's actually just
And
an alternate
somebody told me.
Obi-Wan.
Somebody
You can
told
play
me,
him, but he's just got Obi-Wan stats.
somebody told me, you know, if you really want to play Qui-Gon, you can do a 3D third party, and I'm like, how dare you talk to me like that?
Bro,
Telling me to put a 3D printed model on my
just,
table.
whenever you play Obi-Wan, just get a Force Ghost and put it next to him wherever he goes.
Qui-Gon's always with me.
In the chair, like those deep fakes. He's just on
Yeah.
the couch, cruising around. All right, sorry, go for it.
No, you're good, man. You're good. All right. So yeah, we had the World Championship. And yeah, so I'm gonna go over the top 8. We'll talk about it. Interesting stats. So in 8th place, we had Oliver from the UK. His list is Darth Vader, 2 snowtroopers, 2 stormtroopers, the heavy response unit, and then 4 bikes. So pretty much Blizzard Force. Moving on, we got
That was Commander Vader, though, so it's a little bit different.
because the other ones were in operative, huh? That's
Very
right.
typically, they run operative.
Yeah, and this was more kitted out. The snows have medics, concussion grenades, and then improvised order on Vader. Well,
So it's
no,
a tweak,
want-
but still
Yeah,
Blizzard.
yeah. Still Blizzard. 9X. Then the next one is Stephen Gibb, a UK player. He's 10X, Imperial Officer with Electric Binoculars, Imperial Officer with Improvised Order, Snowtrooper with the Astromech R4, 2 HR units, 4 speeder bikes with emergency transponder, and the ATST General Reese grenade launcher mortar, all that kitted out. Blizzard Force again, 788. Pretty good, pretty good.
I dig it.
Then we got Dean Tran. Hope I said your name right. From Canada. And he's running 10 activations, Blizzard Force again, Imperial Officer, Improvised Order, Vader, Operative, Stormtrooper Heavy Response Units, Snow Troopers, and then 4 speeder bikes.
So vanilla Blizzard.
Yeah, this is the
The
normal one.
the Dairy Queen Blizzard setup.
Yeah. Then in what place are we in? So that was the top, what? That was 8, 7, 6. Then 4, we got very Timbo from Canada. He's running Gar.
Yeah,
9
buddy.
activations. Anakin Skywalker, Force Push, Saber Throw, Endurance, Clone Commander, Improvised Order, Padme, 2 Phase 1s with the DC-15, Phase 1 Clone Captain, Impact Grenade, Situation Awareness, Phase 2 with the Mortar, Situation Awareness, and then 2 Phase 1s, 1 with the RPS and 1 with the Portable Scanner, and then ARC Trooper with Echo. And I guess that wasn't the top 4. So that was the
Yeah, I think this is 5th.
yeah, that was the 5th one. So the top 4 is USA with Blizzard Force, Imperial Officer, Improvised Order, Vader, Off Vader, and then Stormtrooper HR.
Vanilla Blizzard.
Yeah, 2 Snows, Impact, speeder bikes. And then Andrew from the UK, which is running Imperial Remnant. So not a Blizzard Force. He's running Imperial Officer, Short Troopers, H12, Stormtroopers, Death Troopers, H12, Scout Troopers, 2 Dark Troopers with the frag and the assault cannon, and the 2 bikes. Then we got
That's wild.
Yeah,
That's a cool list.
that was a third place. And then we got Lila from the UK
Pink Suns.
with Pink Suns. She's running the Shadow Collective with Maul, Force Trick, Force Push, Improviser, Deck Saber, 5 Black Suns with the Mag Diff, Black Sun Vigo, Recon Intel, Frag Grenades, Black Sun with the Mag Deck and the Frag, and then the AA5 with Backbone Medic. And then our forever champion, Luke Cook, USA, representing
Yeah.
number 1, double bounty list, 12 activations.
12 acts, dude.
12 out.
12 acts.
Imperial Officer with Underworld Connections, IG-88, Boba Fett, Season Initiative, Recon Intel, Short Troopers with Delmico, 2 Short Troopers with the T-21B, 3 Mortars, and then 3 Strike Teams. Oh man, what did you guys think of the top 8?
Predictable, with a lot of the Blizzard Force stuff, predictable with a lot of the Empire stuff. Uh, Unpredictable with Black Suns, and unpredictable should have been predictable, but I didn't see Luke doing what he did, like with that list
Mhm.
compared to what was on the field. It was all exciting. That was the best. Like I wasn't even there, but I was glued to my phone for the streams, and that was overall the most exciting. Like on my phone, watching it, looking at a game uplink, most exciting weekend of Legion like I've ever seen. All of it was awesome.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, it's not shocking that we see 6 Empire in the top 8, mostly Blizzard Force, and then only Shadow Collective and Gar made it to the top 8. So Rebels and CIS kind of suffering,
Yeah,
but
white
um,
saves are hard.
yeah,
Until they get the mighty
yeah.
Ahsoka. I'm sorry.
Yeah. The one thing, yeah, I don't really care that much that Empire is hugely represented. People like Empire, so I feel like if everything's balanced, you'll still see Empire overrepresented. The bigger problem for me is that out of these Empire lists, the 6 that were in the top 8, 4 of them were Blizzard Force.
Mhm.
That's not interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's a problem. I don't want to see the same exact list. Like I like Luke's list because it's different. I
Mhm.
like
It's old school.
even the Imperial Remnant list. Like I know people are talking about Dark Troopers being super threatening, but I mean, it's fine that 1 out of the top 8 is one of the meta lists. That's to be expected. But Blizzard Force taking 4, that
So
needs to be addressed.
I agree.
I got a theory question. So they were they're making fun of Luke because he didn't have an answer to was it Dark Troopers or yeah, they're asking him how he was gonna handle Dark Troopers. And his whole thing was just roll crits, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't face a single Dark Trooper player that event, right?
Mhm.
Lila, on the other hand, derailed and disemboweled 5 Blizzard Force on her way to the top. Do you think we still get Lila and Luke in the finals if Luke goes against a Dark Trooper list
It's hard to say because like Luke Cook is a good player.
and Lila gets a Dark Trooper list?
Well, I think Lyle can handle a Dark Trooper list because
Yeah,
she,
her list may be overly
yeah,
overly able to handle a Dark Trooper list.
she has a bunch of critical in that with Surge to crit with the
Tons of
frags.
impact.
Um, but Luke Cook is a good player, and would you see like day 1 of the tournament is you're fanning out the good players from the mediocre players, and then day 2 you're just crunching that number again, and then you're going again. So I think Luke Cook could have still made it to the top. I think he would have had a harder time. But like I still feel like Dark Troopers aren't, even though they're in the meta, I don't think he had enough time to see where they're at in the meta. Like everyone prepared for them because they're scared.
I mean, Lila's impact was impact 1, right? The
No,
Impact
from
3.
and
from
from the
the
mag,
Magdet.
and then if she's in range 1, she surges the crit because of the frag grenade.
So it's a
And
lot.
I'd have
then
I would want to see that played out.
and then you have Maul with a dark saber.
I think she would wreck Dark Troopers, honestly. I think
Yeah.
that's the matchup she would prefer rather than playing against Blizzard. I think Blizzard's a harder match for her.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that 100%. She has 5, so that's impact 3 times 5. Well, that's 15 impact, and then that's surge to crit on each of those.
Hmm.
So yeah, she would have
Yeah.
schooled it. Um,
It was an electric weekend for
yeah, it
Legion.
was.
It felt like
Honestly,
a Super Bowl. That's the end of the year.
yeah.
That's how the year should end.
When we got to the final, I didn't know who to root for because I wanted Lila to win because she was running Maul, but I wanted Luke Cook to win because he's repping USA. So I was just like, man. But ultimately, I wanted USA to win. That representing our home country. So yeah, wild tournament seemed like a lot of fun. I'm super sad I missed it, but yeah, I think Dan, you're right. We got to do something about Blizzard Force. I think it needs to be nerfed.
We need to put your skills to the test. You need to go to Worlds, man. We need to see you
Next
in
year,
that mosh pit.
next year,
You are, bro. The reason I say is because you're on the ELO rankings now with like top 4, and you don't even have half the games everybody else has played. Like, I want to see you at Worlds, dude. I want to see you go against that type of pool. You school most of us down here. You went and took LVO your first year. You made the top 8 your second year. Like I want to see you. World seemed like it was where the heavy hitters were.
Oh, I
Because
see.
and here's a shout out. Here's a shout out to my one of my LVO opponents, Wes, the round 2 guy I played.
Mhm.
He was actually when he went to Adepticon, he was in the last chance qualifier and he actually made it in. And he was the last standing last chance qualifier that got
Oh,
eliminated from the tournament.
really?
So
Oh,
shout
wow.
out to Wes, Shadowfax, dude. I was pumped. I was like, I played that guy.
I'm with you guys. I'm super bummed I didn't go because I want to face Luke Hook and I want to face Lila's list. Like I do want to see where my skills is. And on
You
top
don't
of
know
that,
Kyle? You don't know no Kyle?
oh, I wanted that rematch. I wanted that rematch. Lila did what I wanted to do. We already talked about it. I should have just fought his list. But nonetheless, next year, that's my goal. Is plan for that. Because yeah, I'd be super stoked to go against him.
With the new season of Legion, like starting May the 4th, going to Worlds being the Super Bowl, like I was just planning on doing the LVO and then the one in San Francisco. Not the
The
Bay
Bay
Area,
Area
the
Open?
other one. No, what's the other one that happens in October?
SoCal?
Yeah, that's
SoCal.
down south.
But now with this being like an official, you got to win your invite. Like I'm more pressed to go to more events now. Like I might actually save up a little more money to try to do like a LSO and all that stuff.
I'm hoping the Bay one that we're going to, me and Roman, is going to have an invite. And then
I'm considering. Are the tickets sold out already, or are they on sale yet?
no, they're not sold out. I haven't even bought mine yet because it's in
I'm
May.
thinking I might go.
Yeah,
I gotta see. I
let's
gotta
do
see
it.
where my PTO time is after I take this week off at the end of the month. And if I can squeeze it, I might go because I need competitive Legion's a whole nother monster.
Well, that's the thing is I'm so torn. Like, don't get me wrong, I wanted to run a different list at the Bay Area because I just want to have fun. But now that the World's invites on the line, it's just like maybe I just go Blizzard Force. Just what do I do?
Hopefully
Weenie.
Blizzard Force is dressed by then.
I agree. I hope it is too.
How about you just go with your bread and butter and take your CIS with your ion cannons and make it work?
Or
Well,
Empire CIS with your Dark Troopers.
That's true too. Dark Troopers would be gnarly. I got a lot to
Meta
think about.
chaser.
I'm not gonna trust the mid. I'm just throwing that out there, but like I feel like I do need to try harder because the list I wanted to take was Asajj Dooku, but I don't think I can make that work.
We need to take a page from Lila's book and be the meta we want to see.
You're right. You're right. Lila has got us. Lila and David Grant, the inspiration of these.
Yep.
Right.
People's champions.
Yep. So moving on. Super fun. The Adepticon, amazing. Wish I would have went. Now let's go on to the.
We're gonna do a JR Dieter fund next year to send you to Adepticon.
Well, as soon as I get my world invites,
He's just gonna win it one bet at a time.
Jose paid for me to be here.
All right, bounty event. Everyone played their games. Jose, Daniel, I know you guys played your games. How'd it go? Who wants to go first?
So I'll go first, is because my game didn't have it. We had it set for Saturday, and it was going to be for me one of those slog days where I do 10 hours at work and then I gotta go to shop, play a game, knees all busted, But my opponent contacted me and let me know that he wasn't going to play the final game. I'm not going to put his reason out there. But I understood, and me working a 10-hour day, I was not going to complain. So we just made a plan to just play a friendly, non-competitive game at a later date. Just because, personally for me, I'll speak for myself. I am not a bounty hunter guy. I love playing everything in Legion, but I don't have the time invested in bounty hunters like a lot of you guys have. And I should have played guard and just took the easy way out like some people I know. The top two
The
guys.
cowards in the top two.
The cowards, yeah. That's wild, bro. If I would have known I could lose every game and still end up top 2. But yeah, no, it's fun event all around. I'm excited to root for you guys in the top 4. But at the end of the day, like it was a fun event. It just wasn't an event that was my type of play style. So I got the win because of the concession, which I'm okay with. But it's just my bounties got murdered by the owner game one. Game two, I got too aggressive and costed myself a bounty. So it's just I after that second game, I knew the third game was kind of non-important. Um, but because even if I won, played at the shop, and scored both bounties, which was highly unlikely, I still wouldn't have made the top four. So I was at peace with that. But I'm pumped. I'm rooting for you guys in the top four, and I'm waiting for the next event.
How about your Daniel? How'd your game go?
I unfortunately got matched up with my brother, who's also playing this event, and so we were 2-0s going into it, and we were in an awkward spot where we had almost the same amount of points, and so it was like, oh, so one of us is gonna make top four, and the other one probably isn't, and it's a brothers grudge match. So, um,
How much do you guys
we
love each other? It comes down to.
yeah, so we played our game, on last Wednesday, I want to say. He's running IG, Krennic, Death Troopers, some Shore Troopers, and some two Shore Troopers, two mortars, and then two Stormtroopers. And the Stormtroopers, one has a medic for Krennic and Death Troopers, and the other one has a repair droid for IG. So it's an interesting little setup he's got. I'm running Mando and Op Luke and a bus that's full of Rebel fleet troopers, and then I've got some pikes and stuff to back up the line. What's funny is like because we're brothers, we've played this matchup a couple times when we were trying to figure out what we wanted to bring to the event. So this is like our third time playing, and so we know how this plays out, and we've played it a couple times, and I think this is the third time that we played this matchup with the exact same list. Like I don't think we've changed anything since our first one. And the first time and the second time we played, I got the better of him because my list has a lot of Pierce in it. And so once Luke and Mando get in, I just start ripping stuff up. And so Johnny was very determined to be like, oh, I got to do something different. I got to shake stuff up. So going into the game, we're setting up. We played Sabotage and Moisture Evaporators. I placed my two, he places his two. And then we're doing deployment. We have advanced positions, and there's one big line of sight blocker in the middle of the map. And so the way it ends up panning out is one of my evaporators is way in the back. So I just have a naked rebel trooper go back there, and it's basically just going to take care of that moisture evaporator and then hide. And then the rest of my army is like to the left of this big line of sight blocker. And Johnny splits his army into two. So he puts one chunk of his army, the Death Troopers, the Shore Troopers, and Krennic, all to the left of my army. So if the box is in the center and my army is in the south, then his army would be on the west coast. I know how this works. His army would be on the west.
Figure that out.
Yeah, like north, south.
Let me make sure.
So his big army would be on the west, and he had like a little building that he kind of set up on top of. The way that the terrain worked out is everything was almost exactly the same height, and the big center line of sight blocker had no railings, and then the line of sight blocker that he jumped on top of had railings. So what that means is he has cover if he's up there, and I do not. So he basically turned that into his gun emplacement where he had Death Troopers and his mortars, and then had his Shore Troopers and Krennic on the ground, and then he set up his other army in the north facing basically on the exact opposite side of the giant line of sight blocker from my army. So he's at the base of it, I'm at the base of it. We're both basically touching it, and it's just huge line of sight blocker in between us. And then his army's also flanked me from the west. So his plan was just to keep me from being able to engage with Luke with the majority of his army, right? So he's like, maybe if I send a smaller contingent here, Luke will get stuck there, and then I won't be able to do enough damage with my guys. It was a good plan. What ended up happening is he ended up going first. He moved with IG and just straight got too aggressive, and he jumped up on top of the building and started shooting my guys down below. And it was, IG did some good damage. But what happened was I shot with my pikes, my first squad of pikes. So they aim and fire. They also got an aim.
The long gun, right?
Yeah, they had the long gun.
Yeah,
so
bad.
They aim fire, and then they also got an aim from the capo, and they're taking the extra man who gives them an aim. So I roll this pool, and I get everything. I get everything after all of my aims. So IG had heavy cover because he was up on top of the line of sight blocker, and he had
armor.
and he has armor 1. But I have impact 1, and most of my rolls were crits. So I only
No.
had 3 non-crits in my pool. And so Johnny's like, "Oh, I take those 3 off." I'm like, "Well, you take 2 off for cover, and then that last one I'm gonna turn into a crit." So he rolls, and he just first shot of the game takes 3 damage onto IG. So
Oh.
IG's sitting at 2 health, and he's my bounty. And so I've got Mando sitting right there.
Get up there,
Oh,
Mando. Get up
this is
there.
it. And I played Mando's 1 pip on the opening turn, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is perfect." Mando's gonna jump, be up there. He'll have no cover. I'll blow him away, get my bounty. Well, then Johnny goes. He goes with his stupid repair droid, rolls on up, and then pulls one of those wounds off. And so I'm now looking at a 3 health IG. I'm like, okay, I
You still
might be
do
able
it.
to kill a 3
You
health.
got to
right?
do it.
Yeah.
Right? I can probably still do it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I have this other squad of pikes. I'm just gonna have this other squad of
Ah,
pikes weaken
you
him a little
opened-
bit.
You
right?
killed it.
And
You-
well, okay, you gotta understand what I'm thinking. This squad has already taken damage. It's the squad that he shot at. It's only
No.
got like the total amount of dice that I could roll was 6, right? That's the total number of dice I could roll. They can't aim, they've gotten suppressed.
He rolled all crits.
I roll my dice. I have no aims. This squad, they have 1 aim because they have the little thing on the guy. They have the cash aim that they could use. They roll, they get all 6. Just a perfect roll. It's like, wow, this squad wants to kill IG. I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if you just blanked all 3 of yours?
He
And he rolls,
blanked it, right?
and he blanks. He's like, well,
Wow.
interesting. So
You-
part of me was super disheartened because
You
I
have
really
the-
wanted that bounty, man, because I thought I had that bounty locked up. But the other part of me
you
was
have
like,
the M-Bam, right?
yeah, but
So and it was his 1 pip, so he has relentless.
Mhm.
So why didn't you could have jumped up, you could have got 2 aims and
Because
5 dice, you didn't put
Yeah,
5.
it'd only
It's
be
4
3 dice because it'd still be a range attack.
Oh, you weren't close
Oh,
enough to do
you
a
I
couldn't
meta.
couldn't
base-
jump
oh,
on
okay.
top of him.
Oh,
I couldn't
okay.
base him.
Okay.
So it would
I
have
was like,
been
if
a
you could
shot.
base him, that would have been better.
Yeah, if I could base him, I would have jumped him, but I couldn't base him. So
Okay, that's what
I
I was
wanted to
missing.
bring him down like 1 more health. I was like, if I can just do 1 more damage, because then I can pierce. That'll probably be enough. And then I perfect roll, and he completely blanks, and it leads to a dead IG.
Oh no.
So
That's
so
the-
part of me is like, oh, that's devastating.
That's the
because
hard
I wanted
part
that
about
bounty.
bounties.
That's the
you
bait
should get
of
the
all
bounty
bounties.
regardless, man.
Yep.
Every bounty that I've ever seen that someone tries to go for, they'll always say, "Let me try to weaken it more," and then
Yep.
that's the nail in the coffin.
Yep.
Nope,
Yep.
nope.
You should have
So-
split fire. You should have shot the cannon into him and threw the gun somewhere, the main gun somewhere else to lighten the pool.
then I would have
If you're
only had
just-
3.
Yeah.
But if you're
dice
just
going.
trying to get that, so my math, like, judging by the
rolling
hot
red
roll,
saves.
yeah, hold on.
Yeah,
But
and
judging,
I have to
judging,
get a crit to get it
but-
through. It'd have to be a
yeah,
crit.
but judging by the hot roll, the long gun is 2 black, right? 2 black and a white or something like that.
Yeah, 2
Right.
black and
2
white.
black and a
2 black
red.
and a
Yeah.
red. 2 black and
So
red.
let's just say that you still have your hot roll. I mean, even if you throw, you're looking to put 1 wound.
Yeah.
Even if you get a full bow, you're only impacting 1. There's your 1. I mean,
That's true.
you can't really take it back. But if your goal was to do 1 wound, you should have cut that pool a little more.
Well, I
if you
kind
were
of
just
assumed
aiming-
I wouldn't get all of them because if I'd gotten 5,
You're
that
not
would have
throwing
been
my
fine.
black dice.
5 out of 6, and I would have been happy because then he's sitting at 1 health. Mando rolls up, and I collect the bounty. And then there would have been stormtroopers to dive in next turn. It was going to be so
Okay.
wonderful, but instead that's what happened. So it was kind of weird. That was the opening to the game. 3 shots in, and IG's dead.
That was turn 1.
That was turn 1. 3 or like
Wild.
5 activations in because like I've only done my 2 pikes and my pike capo, and he's
Mhm.
done those.
And you played Mando's 1 pip on turn 1?
Yeah, well, because we were so close because you're both on that side
Oh,
of
yeah.
the thing, and so I was like, this will either force him to stay down, which I'm okay with, because then I can maneuver with Luke how I want, or he'll go up there and I can engage the stormtroopers that go up there.
Mhm.
Not
And he did go
everybody
up
has a bazillion cards that are great like you, JR. Some of us need to use 1 pips
Yeah.
out of turn.
And so Mando ended up having to jump up there. He jumped up there and started killing stormtroopers,
Yeah.
which was fine.
out of aggression, out of pure
yeah.
annoyance.
the irritation, just taking it out on them. So that all happened on turn 1, and then when that happened, I realized that I should pivot and just send everything towards his other stronghold, because 2 squads of stormtroopers is not going to do anything to Mando. Mando will just slowly chew through them. But I moved Luke up there because he had to force pull people forward so Mando could dive him. So Luke went up, force pulled people to the edge. Mando dove on top of him and started killing him. And I send my bus to go start harassing him, drop off some fleets, and they took a shot.
You only have 1 bounty hunter?
I have 2, or yeah, just one.
Okay.
2 melee threats, 1 bounty hunter. Yeah,
And that was your one target.
that was it. That was
See,
it.
I think bounty should be like, as long as you have a bounty hunter, if a bounty hunter can kill a hero, you
I
should get
agree.
that bounty point.
I think if you kill any hero, it should be a
Any
bounty.
hero, yeah.
Honestly, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I got my bounties.
Yeah, because
Shut
your rule is
up.
just don't die. Man, if my rule was just kill something, oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that really shifted things in my favor because a lot of his command cards are IGs as well. So he was stuck with standing orders. When I was able to pivot Luke, because then turn 2, I'm able to send Luke over towards his other line. I still have to be careful because there's lots of stuff that can shoot. But between the bus and line of sight blockers, I was able basically just to hide him. So turn 2 and 3, I start sending Luke towards his guys, his last big crow's nest, while Mando's ripping everything else apart. I've done my back one, I've done the one in the middle, and he's done his back one, and then he's got one right next to the building that he's like fortified in. And so at the end of turn 3, I have the bus, and then Luke is hiding exactly behind the bus, and the bus only has 1 health left, and he's got a couple things left to go. I think it was a shore trooper, and then he had the mortar. And so I was like, oh no, if this bus dies, Luke's not quite in range to dive on people yet. Like, he could dive, but then they'll just withdraw because he can't dive standby. So they would withdraw, and then he would be left in the open. So I needed the bus to live through the end of turn 3 for Luke to have a safe dive. So Johnny took his shot with his shore troopers, the big shot, and he just rolled terrible. I think he only got 1 crit through, and they have crit on their gun. And so then I rolled, and I was able to survive that. And then he shot with his mortar, and it was too close for him to use his big gun, so it was literally just the black die. So he's aiming and shooting with the black die, and he shoots, and he gets a crit. He aims, and so he shoots, he misses, and then he re-rolled and got a crit, and he was like, oh, this could do it. And I roll, and I got to save again. So he was not thrilled with that. So then we go into turn 4, and he starts, and he goes again with those shore troopers, and they finish off the bus. So now Luke is standing in the open, but because that shore trooper went, Luke just dove onto them. And so Luke's not doing any damage on turn 4, but he's safe, and he's definitely killing things next turn. Turn 5, Luke just starts murdering things. He ends up killing the entire Death Trooper squad and then harassing other people. And then turn 6, I was able to do some shenanigans with force push and stuff to jump onto his Vaporator and just tap it and force Krennic away. And so I was able to snag it because I tapped that Vap, and I finished mine, and he finished his other one. And so I won, was that like 5-3, 5-4?
Nice. Sounds like a hell of a game. I was telling John too. I was like,
yeah,
if you get in this, John, you have to get both bounties, and then Daniel has the potential to lose. And then you have a chance to get the top 4.
No, yeah, because going into that round, my brother had collected a bounty and I had not. So if he wins that game, he for sure is in the top 4, and I'm for sure not, because I didn't do anything except win 2 games. But because I won the 3rd game, I made it in. And then just the way it worked out, because my brother collected bounties, we're actually both in the top 4. We're 3 and 4. We squeaked in.
Yeah. So how it is,
they planned that.
The top 4 now is me sitting at 18 bounty points, Michael at 15, Daniel at 12, and then your brother at 11. And then just like,
so what if you play Michael? Like, both of you guys are just gonna let your troopers fight it out while your bounties stay in the
well, here's the thing now. Now that we're in the top 4, the bounty thing doesn't matter. The bounty,
it's just bracket.
Yeah, it's only just for victory points. So we just spent 20 points to do nothing in the top 4 now, which is fine. That's the whole point. And yeah, we'll probably just do brackets. And I think Roman said that we're gonna do it at like a pizza place. We're gonna play our games there, and then whoever comes, they can play a skirmish game while we're playing our game. So
that'll be fun.
Yeah, that'd be super, super fun. Super excited. It's gonna be awesome. Hell of event. Dig the event, and excited. All right, guys.
He said hell of an event. He sat there and did nothing for
hold on.
rounds.
You're confusing me with Michael. Okay, Michael didn't do nothing. I played my game.
Michael exploited the system better than you,
Michael
and you're
played
just jealous.
his game too.
I won my
This is
game.
the only time you're gonna see Gar at 50% of the top floor in an
Yeah,
event this
at
year.
100% making the top cut.
Hey, you guys just jealous, okay? That's all that matters.
Uh,
Yeah. So yeah, we'll move on. We're gonna wrap it up here pretty soon. I just want to go over a couple rule questions with you guys, and then we'll call it a day. So we're gonna go to. I got right here. This always confused me, so I'm gonna see if it confuses you guys as well. If I take a pike capo in a rebel list, can the rebel trooper use the capo's courage value?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. I was reading this. I was just like, man, some can, some can't, or whatever.
The only rule is if you're receiving.
Yeah, like you can't do it the opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, restrictions would be on the core units or whoever wants to use the other guy's ability.
Mhm. All right. So each faction has 3 command cards that list X faction only. And these interact with a mercenary model that is in a list made using the faction. For example, covering fire, the Rebel 3-pip says Rebel only. If I have a Rebel list with a Pike Capo and Pike Foot Soldiers included, and I play covering fire, can I nominate the Capo as a commander, issuing orders to Pikes? And when the Pikes perform a ranged attack, do they give a dodge token to a nearby unit as a normal command card?
I would say
I would
no,
say
but I actually
no.
don't know.
I would say no, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does work.
Yeah, it could go either way in my mind, but I would say no.
The Rebels only related to selecting the command card during army building. A capo in a Rebel army could be used as a nominated commander for these cards and could issue the order to a Rebel or Pike affiliated units.
That's dope.
Yeah. Yeah, some more shenanigans. I'm just like, okay. Okay, Cad Bane. We know how we love Cad Bane breaking rules. If I play Given to Your Anger and choose Cad Bane, who is not on the table yet, just his token, just 3 tokens, does that make him reveal himself?
Nope.
I don't
Nope,
see why
nope,
it
nope.
would. He has to, yeah.
The target has to be on the table to be affected by giving you anchor, and he's not technically on the table. His token is. Cad Bane's off to the side.
Yeah, you guys are right. Nope, Cad Bane cannot be assigned. So that's one
I
rule.
cheated on this test because I read that the other day on my break.
You
Cad Bane makes
cheated.
his own rules.
Right. Okay. New ways to motivate. Let's say Vader gives 2 Dark Troopers a face-up order token. I go to the bag, I pull one of the Dark Troopers. Can I new ways motivate? Even though they have a face-up order token, but I didn't use a face-up order token.
I would say yes.
What is new ways to motivate again?
You take a wound and you get to move, but
Only-
it's on if you have the order.
Yeah, if you have the face-up order.
Yeah, because they currently have the face-up order, huh? Yeah, so I guess I would say it would work. I don't know for sure, but yeah.
You guys are both right.
I read that one
Would
too.
that allow them to
Damn
take?
it, Jose.
Would that allow them to take 2 move actions? Is that
No,
before their
no.
They
activation?
could do it every time.
No, they could do it every time they activate.
Yeah.
But
So then they
can't,
could move, aim, fire, but plotting would still be in
right.
effect.
Yeah, plotting was still. They can only move once per activation still.
Yeah, I just
All right.
couldn't remember if that was before, because I know it's before the rally step, so I couldn't remember if that was technically before their activation or not. Because like
no,
you could
'cause I think-
recover with new ways to motivate and not panic. So I wondered maybe you can move and it wouldn't count towards plotting, but
No, I think it's gonna still count as activation. But
yeah.
All right, Jose, tell me if you heard this one. I picked this one specifically for you.
I know what you're gonna talk about. I screenshotted it.
Did you screenshot this? Hold on.
Yes. Go
Okay.
for it. I screenshot. I know what you're talking about.
I did this
I love it. I love it.
specifically for Jose because
It's
Jose
in the rules now.
Jose's a stickler for rules.
the rules.
So stickler, like he just even in casual, just like nope, tournament style,
Hey,
baby.
hold on. You know that our little stat conversation when you moved the leader and went, this solidifies that.
Yeah,
You picked up your leader.
Now it's an
Now-
official ruling.
Yep.
So you might have spoiled it for Daniel. Given that we pre-measure with a movement tool, when is a player committed to making a move action?
Yeah, it would probably be once you pick up your leader.
Yeah, that is correct. And if now official. Because
So hold on. So Daniel, before you came along, we were playing a game with JR. Me and Adam thought we
Oh.
would be cool, and we do Grand Army. We do 2 versus 1. We take down Mighty JR. We got fucking schooled. But anyways, point being, JR puts the measuring tool, the speed tool into his stat leader, picks up his stat leader, and tries to go up and then slow down. And I tell him that he can do that because the compulsory would make him blow himself up. He's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "You're speeding down, so you have to take the wound."
That wasn't it. So you're talking about a different example where I grabbed the wrong tool. I grabbed a 3 instead of a 2. And then because I grabbed the 3, you were just like, no, you still
Was
gotta,
it that?
yeah, that was it. Like you could check your post. And then I was just like,
I'm not going back that far.
Yeah, anyways, you don't have to get into that. But yes.
Just play a factor into it.
It is now.
I got called a douchebag for it.
No, you got called a douchebag for something different. And it is now official. If you put the movement tail and you pick up the unilater, you have to commit.
You have to.
However, I encourage this. If you're playing a casual game, it's okay to just tell your opponent, it's cool. You can take it back. Casual games are not supposed to be a big deal. You're supposed to have
Casual games are practice games. Practice games where you develop bad habits.
Not to everybody. Some casual games are just meant to be casual and just have fun.
Nah, bro. I'm casually telling you that you're stuck moving that model.
All right, boys. Well, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you to everybody that listened. I hope y'all enjoy your Saturday. And we'll see you guys next time. Later.
See ya.